explain the red Krayola. It cannot be, it shouldn't be explainable unless I misunderstand art altogether. I think that the sound of the band has always been what I've been interested in. I always thought that that was what turned, the musical relation turned on the possibility of the viability of this sound. Does it appeal? Does it work? The game is to test the limits of popular music, the very idea of, is this acceptable as popular music? Is it entertaining? The idea is any fun? Is this stuff out of bounds? Because some of the stuff that I like to talk about is not very popular, topic-wise.
Eunice Coyote and Sophia Fig, we were co-pilots of the Royal Air Morocco twin-engine ATR-42 that crashed in the Atlas Mountains 10 minutes into a routine flight from Agadir to Casablanca on August the 20th, 1994.
Because mostly it's about pleasing people, stroking the world, making it all nice and smooth. Now you can take a mound of any rubbish you like, and if you're willing to take your hand gloves off, you know, start smoothing, you can make it nice and smooth. I try, but the stuff that I'm smoothing is not very smooth sometimes.
Mohammed Rufi, Civil Aviation Minister, said the only reason for the crash was the deliberate desire of the captain, who switched off the automatic pilot and hurled the aircraft at the ground. It was a deliberate decision to commit suicide.
You know, I consistently attempt to make accessible music. I have never, strayed from the conviction that human beings will get it, can get it. And I don't set out to torture people deliberately. Maybe I did a little bit. I had a little bit in the beginning. There was a little moment of, like one more notch on the volume, just, to get people.
We must get ready with this song quick.
66, I started this with my friend Frederick Barthelme. And Steve Cunningham as well. Those are the two guys, Frederick Barthelme and Steve Cunningham, the guys I started the band with originally in the 60s. We made our first records together. I was on International Artists in the 60s, which is the famous psychedelic label from Texas with the 13th floor International Elevators. It was great to be on that label with them. We had sincere philosophical disagreements, but never even bothered to discuss them. This was the psychedelic 60s. We thought psychedelic is where we came from, spelled with a small p. It's like mind expanding is not, don't work like that, right? Anything might be mind expanding. You don't have to take any substances for that, right? You just have to be awake.
Great.
Check. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. It's 10K, too much. Check. 1, 2. Meyer sound. Sounding like Meyer to me. Sounding like Meyer. M-I-R-E. M-E-Y-E. M-I-R-E. Check.
When the band first started, we made one LP. We made 2 LPs. Then we fell out with the record company. We made an LP with somebody that never got recorded, never got done. The tapes were lost. Made another LP with the same record company. Then I fell out of the business. Then I came back and made 2 more records. Then I found the English connection. And then that English connection, I made 3 or 4 records when I lived in England, 5 records. And I produced a lot of records in England, produced a lot of punk and, well, very late punk, and a lot of, like new wave and stuff verging toward electro, like Cabaret Voltaire and that kind of thing. And, I come and go at it. Because from time to time I fall out of the business. I cease to make sense to myself or in the circumstances, and so I just kind of wander away and scratch my head for a while and come back and try again. At the moment, I'm running a seminar in categories of music. Why would you want to call something hip-hop? What does it mean? Why couldn't you call so-and-so rap and get away with it? Blah, blah, blah. What is punk historically as a category? I have 26 students in this seminar, most of them undergraduates, and I count them as a room full of experts, because everybody knows a lot about music. And everybody's got some music that they like and that they care intensely about in some way. And in the school, we have a luck of an environment of principled discourse. You can disagree with people without getting hurt, which is very nice. And so we sit there and disagree. We argue about names, we call things names. think that the ways that the audiences have changed is that people listen. I played in Japan where people are like listening to Keiji Haino on the floor like that, you know, for 5 hours, and they're deeply absorbed in these things. I come from a generation, the 60s generation, were more party-minded. I think, you know, it was more about, is your music good to dance to? Can we have, you know, fun with it? Does it provide some sort of, you know, like cultural glue which our lives make sense in terms of? You know, I think people have gotten more selective. There's more functional equivalence. There's no longer a situation where, when I started, people would say, that's not music. Nobody would say this anymore about anything. Nobody would give a damn to make a question like that. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter. It functions as music. Take it or leave it. That's the way I feel. You know, I mean, that's, you know, I think art is induction, right? And induction has also got a little bit of terrorism in it, of course, potential. I know that some things that I do terrorize. People think, no, the world can't be like that, you know, but it is.